city in south of Spain.
I see. And what work do you do?
I work in an aircraft company.
Okay, all right. And then the third person, is your name Yulina?
Evelina.
Evelina. All right, so how are you?
Good, thank you. And you?
I'm very good, thank you. And where are you from?
I'm from Poland, but I live in Vienna, and I am a student. I study chemical technology.
Very cool. All right, so why did you choose to go to Vienna?
Um, I like this city. Vienna is very beautiful, and I wanted to change something in my life, and I decided, okay, I move to another country and I learn new language.
Very nice. So what language do they speak in Vienna?
German,
German. Okay, so you speak German.
yes.
Cool. All right. And Nikolai, how are you?
Thank you, I'm fine.
And where are you from?
I'm from Russia.
And are you working or studying at the moment or between jobs?
I working.
What
I
work do you
work.
do?
I work as system administrator.
So what systems do you administer or administrate?
Linux, Linux, some Windows systems. Uh, Most of all, it's Linux.
I see. All right, let's start with the lesson. We're going to talk about cultural diversity. So different cultures in different countries and different cities. So Anna, can you please read our goals for today?
Uh, Practice talking about identity, nationality, and ethnicity. Practice talking about globalization and its effects. Practice the pronunciation of the sh sound.
Very good. Right, so the first part of the lesson is very easy. We're just going to practice the sh sound. So Jesus, can you please read this page for us?
What makes you you? What gives you your identity? This could be your passport, which gives your nationality. This might be your ethnicity or the language you speak.
Good. So usually there are three things people talk about: their identity, their nationality, and their ethnicity. And sometimes they seem the same, but we will talk about the differences on the next page. All right, so the first word is education. Then we have assumption. So assumption, let's quickly talk about that word. So assumption is when you assume something or you think something before you know it, before you know the facts.
Hmm.
All right, the next word is efficient. Efficient means when something is working very well. And then anxious. Anxious means nervous or stressful. Then we have ocean. So here we want to practice the sh sound. So Anna, can you please read these five words for us?
Education, assumption, efficient, anxious, ocean.
Very good. Jesus, can you please read the words?
Education, assumption, efficiency, anxious, oceans.
Very good. And then Evelina, can you please read the words?
Education, assumptions, efficient, and how can I and
Anxious.
anxious ocean.
Very good. And then Nikolai, can you read the words?
Education, assumption, efficient, anxious, ocean.
Very good. So on this page, they say these are all unvoiced sounds. So the reason they are unvoiced is because sh it comes from the lips and the teeth. It does not come from the throat. So voiced sounds comes from the throat, and unvoiced, like the sh sound, comes from the tongue or the mouth. So to practice them, let's each make a sentence. Anna, can you make a sentence with education?
Hmm. Education is is most important parts in your life.
Very good. So Jesus, can you make a sentence with assumption? For example, you could say, I saw someone whose clothes were dirty, so I made the assumption he was poor.
I don't know what the mean the assumption.
Okay, all right. So do you know what the word assume means?
No.
So assume means when you think something. For example, I assume he is smart because he likes reading. It means I think he's smart
Hmm.
because he likes reading.
Okay.
All right, but Jesus, let's move on to the next word, and I'll put assumption in the memos. Okay, so Evelina, can you make a word for efficient? For example, my country's government is very efficient, or maybe my country's government is not very efficient.
Um, I think my government is not efficient.
I see. Okay, you mean Poland's government.
Yeah, Poland's government. Yeah.
So in Poland, do you also speak German?
No, Polish.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right. Nikolai, can you make a sentence with anxious or that means stressful or nervous?
Um, my boss was very anxious. Then he got crypto malware.
Very good. Right. So I can, if you are a system administrator and you get crypto malware, it would be very, I would also feel very anxious. Okay. So here are some words with the S sound. So they ask which of these words have the S sound. So Evelina, which of these words on this page can you see that has a sh sound?
Education. Conclusion. No. No. Confusion. Action. Vision.
So actually I could not find a word on this page that did not have the sh sound. For example, action, conclusion, and then vision, confusion. Some of them just has a more z sound. All right, but we'll look at the differences again on the next page. So Nikolai, can you read the question and the sentence at the top of this page?
Can you say this English tongue twister? Can you teach say? As you get better, try to go faster.
Very good. So the first one, I'll say it once and then you can read it. So
Oh.
a tongue twister is something you can use to practice saying difficult sounds. For example, she sells seashells by the seashore. The shell she shells are seashore shells, I'm sure.
I need to say it.
So try to read it slowly if you can, yes.
She sells seashells by the seashore. The shells the shells the shells she sells are seashore shells. I'm sure.
Very good.
I want to.
So if you want, you can write it down and practice it before an interview if you want to practice your English. So
Okay.
everybody can try. So Anna, can you try reading it?
She sells seashells by the seashore. The shells she sells. Oh, stop. The shells she sells are seashore shells. I'm sure.
Very good. And Jesus, can you read it?
She sells seashells by the seashore. The shells she sells are seashore shells, I'm sure.
Very good. And Evelina, can you try it once?
She sells seashells by the seashore. The shells she sells are seashore shells, I'm sure.
Very good. So it is. Let's see if I can do it faster. uh, she sells seashells by the seashores. The shells she sells are seashells, I'm sure. So does anybody want to try doing it fast?
Um, I can try.
All right.
uh, she sells seashells by the seashore. The shells she sells are seashore shells, I'm sure.
Very good. All right. Anna, do you want to try?
Yes. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells the seashore shells, I'm sure.
Very good. All right. Perfect. So the perfect pronunciation of the sh sounds is a good way to practice. Jesus, do you want to try once more?
Yeah, yeah. She sells seashells by the seashore. The shells she sells are seashore shells, I'm sure.
Very good. And Evelina, once more, do you want to try?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right. So here are the new words for today. So Evelina, can you read them for us before we practice them on the next page?
Ethnicity, identity, society, immigration, attract, cultural identity, mother tongue, nationality.
Very good. All right. And then Nikolai, can you read the words on this page?
Colorful, lively, interculturalism, customs, diversity, habits, tolerance, traditions, multiculturalism, bustling.
Very good. All right. So let's practice some sentences. Anna, can you read the first sentence?
Lots of ethnic neighborhoods in London are bustling and lively. English is my mother tongue. Multiculturalism,
Mul-
multiculturalism makes wonderful cities. Interculturalism promotes cultural understand, understanding.
Very good. So Anna, in which city do you live?
Sorry, I don't understand.
In what city do you live in Russia?
Omsk.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
I'm from Siberia.
So Omsk is a big city, right? It's about
No,
more than
not
a
so
million
not so
people.
big, but not so little. It's not a city. I think it's a town, maybe.
Oh, I see. So
Small. Correct.
so your city or your town is not bustling or lively, right?
Uh, my town is lovely. A little.
Oh, I see.
It's a quite town. There are not so many people live. Um,
So there are not so many people, but the people are very lively.
oh no, because no. People, it's okay, but not all people because we're from Siberia. It's cold, and
Oh, I
we
see.
don't show our natural emotions, but we are kind, I think.
I see.
But if you see our face, uh, you will you would you will think you will think that we are angry a little bit.
I see. So you can say will or would. You would think we are angry. All right. So bustling means everything is moving at the same time. For example, you could say the ants. I can see the ants are bustling on the ant hill. So Anna, which city do you think is very bustling?
I think London, Tokyo, uh, mm,
Definitely.
Beijing. Oh, Beijing. It's on English or on Chinese? Just on Chinese. language?
It is
18.
English. It's also Beijing.
Oh, Beijing. Okay.
All right.
Mm,
So, all right. Let's.
Moscow, St. Petersburg.
Oh yes. Right. Definitely. All those big and capital cities.
Yes.
All right. So, Jesus, what is your mother tongue?
Spanish. Spanish.
And do you speak any other languages?
No, I'm trying to speak English, but only Spanish.
And sorry, I know you mentioned, but I can't remember. In which city do you live in
It's
Spain?
Seville, Seville.
Is that a big city?
It's, just a small city. Not too big. Not too big. It's
And
not too small, but not too big.
and does your city have a lot of multiculturalism? Does it have a lot of different
Mm,
cultures, or is it mostly Spanish?
Mostly Spanish. I can see a lot of tourists, but um, mm, there are a few foreign people living here.
I see. All right. And then, so Evelina, in Vienna, do you live in the city center or do you live outside the city?
Outside. Yeah. Now I live outside.
And is it very bustling or lively, or is it usually very quiet?
In city center, yes, it's very bustling and lively. But here, where I live, it's very quiet. Yeah.
All right. And then, Nikolai, in which city do you live?
Right now, I live in St. Petersburg.
So St. Petersburg is always very lively, right?
Right.
And do you travel sometimes?
Yeah. Last weekend I was in Moscow.
Very cool. So which city do you think is more multicultural? St. Petersburg or Moscow?
Um, it's hard to say. Mm, I was in Moscow only 2 days, and it's a very uh, little time
I
for
see. Right.
for
It's
decision.
difficult.
Difficult to say. I think Moscow.
Right. Usually the capital city is more multicultural because all the people fly into the capital city from airports around the world and things like that.
Yeah.
So, Evelina, I'm also curious about Vienna. Is Vienna very multicultural?
Yes, very, very.
All right, on the next page, so Anna, can you read only the first sentence?
Okay. Tolerance is important in a multicultural society.
Very good, right. So, in a multicultural society like Toronto, in Canada, where there are many different languages and cultures, it can be difficult to have tolerance. But Anna, is it easier to have tolerance in Omsk, where everybody has the same culture?
Tolerance.
So tolerance
I
is
think
almost
I
like
think
acceptance.
I think it depends of everybody, every man. Uh, it's I think it's not depends of town which you live.
I see, right.
Or
So,
uh, I don't understand maybe this sentence. Tolerance is some emotion which you can show somebody.
yes. Let me give you an example. So, we all know President Donald Trump, and he is not very tolerant
Oh yes.
towards other cultures, right?
I see. I see. Yes, I think um, in our relationship between people who who lives in Omsk. I think we are tolerant enough uh, because we don't shout on each other and don't um, um, we don't touch each other. We just live our own life, and I think we are tolerant enough.
Right. So you can say we respect each other or we don't disrespect each other.
Yes, we respect.
All right. Jesus, can you read the second sentence?
Your cultural identity comes from your traditions.
Very good. So the Spanish culture is one of the oldest tradition or the oldest ethnicities or traditions, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right. Evelina, can you read the second one?
Ethnic groups often have certain common habits and customs.
So, Evelina, do the people in Vienna have different habits and customs from the people in Poland?
Yes, I think yes. Here in Vienna live many different cultures. The people who live here come from many different countries, and they have different habits and customs, I think.
All right, and then Nikolai, can you read the last sentence?
A lot of people have dual nationality.
So, Nikolai, what is your nationality?
Russian?
Right. So, what do you think it means when someone has dual nationality?
I think he has dual passport. Two passports.
Exactly right. So, if you could have dual nationality or dual citizenships, which country would you choose?
Uh, I don't know.
Spain, Spain,
Spain?
Spain.
Oh, let it be Spain.
Spain is a very nice place. So, Jesus, is Spain part of the European Union, the EU?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
See,
okay, yes.
yeah,
So if you have the Spanish passport, then you can travel all over Europe.
yeah.
That's very beneficial. Okay, all right. So, Anna, can you read the two questions at the top of this page?
What do you remember about these cities from the unit? Can you add any facts of your own?
So, Anna, do you travel sometimes?
No, not yet. Uh, I'm learning at university. I'm studying at university now, and unfortunately, uh, I like sit. Uh, don't sit, but I like to
Relaxing.
be to be to be at home. No, I think traveling uh, is relaxing sport. Uh, um, Not yet. I have never traveled before. Only in Russia.
All right. So, can you tell us about the multiculturalism in one of the cities in Russia, or maybe in Omsk?
Omsk. Oh,
Yes. For example,
there is.
if someone
Mhm.
visited your city, what information should they know?
Mm. Uh, mm, there is not so many. Um, uh, 1 minute, please.
Many, maybe malls or supermarkets?
No, there is many supermarkets. Mm, yes. Not so many entertainments. There is uh, oh, for example, you can go as usually in all time. in all towns in Russia. You can go to the cinema, to the theaters, uh, to the um, park of entertainment. Uh,
Right, many entertainment facilities and things to do.
yes, yes. Uh, uh, okay, in winter, there are, to be honest, there are not so many beautiful views. Uh,
But you can probably go
because
skiing, right?
skiing,
Yes.
uh, skiing,
Skiing or
what?
snowboarding in the snow.
Oh, oh yes, skiing, yes. Mm, about snowboard or snowboarding, I'm not sure, but skiing, yes, it's improved there. Can I say this way?
Yes, you mean it's got improved means it's gotten better,
Yes,
or maybe you can say it's very popular.
yes, it's very popular because uh, during the winter we have many snow, and this sport's very popular in Siberia in general. Uh,
All right.
um,
So Anna, let's move on. But before you do so, you can say a lot of snow.
a lot of snow. Okay,
Yes,
I
because
see.
many is a word we use for countable things. For example, I
Oh,
have
oh.
many cars or many
Mhm.
computers.
Okay, okay.
All right. So
Thank
Jesus,
you.
do you travel sometimes?
And yes, sometimes I travel.
And have you
I
been
sometimes
to,
travel.
sorry, and have you been to one of these cities before?
Uh, Only I have been in London. Um,
And what do you remember about it?
um, London. I remember of London is a big city with a lot of museum history building. Um, I I I could see a lot of different uh, people. Uh, so multiculturalism. um, and I don't. I didn't like the food, uh, but in general, I like. I, I like London.
All right, so everything but the food, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, all right. So Evelina, how often do you travel, or do you get? Oh, so yes, you have traveled because you live in a different country. Do you get time to visit any other countries?
Um, I travel a lot, I think, but just in Europe, and I visited many countries, many cities, and
So,
yeah,
do you know any interesting things about any of these four cities?
London. I was in London, but it was 10 years ago, I think, or more, and it was really nice, I think. Uh, but I think the city is very crowded
It can be too,
Mhm.
yes.
and very multicultural, but very nice.
So, if you could visit any of these three cities next, which city would you visit?
Toronto.
Toronto, I see. Right. So if you guys did the previous lesson, in the previous lesson they said Toronto, I think, has more than 200 spoken languages for because they have so many cultures in living in the city, all the different food and all the different people. All right, so Nikolai, have you traveled outside of Russia before?
No, I haven't yet.
And which one of these cities would you visit first?
Um, I think. Mm, mhm. I think London.
It would probably be the cheapest and the easiest because it's
Uh,
closer.
mm, yeah, sure. And I want to visit Liverpool also.
Singapore, right.
Liverpool.
Oh, Liverpool.
Liverpool.
All right, so would you consider working in a different country or do you like Russia? Do you like working in Russia?
I like working in Russia.
And is your city very multicultural or intercultural?
St. Petersburg, multicultural city. I see every day any many people, different colors, the different languages. I hear different languages. It's very multicultural city.
So there are two very important words we're going to learn today. It's race. So, for
Race,
example, you get different races. Races is usually your
races, yes,
skin color.
yes,
And then
Yes.
ethnicity is also an important word. Ethnicity can be bigger than race. For example, Jesus is Spanish, but you can maybe say he has a Latin ethnicity because some countries in South America is also Latin. So, but it's a different
Yeah,
choice for
yeah.
everybody. We'll talk about it more. Sorry, did somebody have something to say?
No.
Okay, all right. So Anna, can you read the top of this page?
Um, Talk about what it would be like to live in a multicultural city. Use the pictures below to help you.
So if you imagine a city with many different cultures, what do you imagine it being like?
Huh. About food, you can taste you can taste uh, or try many different uh, many different
Cuisines or dishes?
cuisines, yes, and traditions in food and food traditions. Uh, okay, when in your town many people when in your town there are many people of other from other countries and of many different races. In your town is crowded, um, and uh, maybe it can be dirty. I don't
Right?
know.
Right. Sometimes if the city can get too crowded or bustling, it gets dirty. But Singapore is very clean because you have to pay money if you litter or
Yeah,
if you
yes.
throw.
If it's cleaned, it's okay.
Right. So, Anna, in Omsk, can you find restaurants from different cultures if you want to?
Yes, yes. Japanese, other different countries from there are food from different countries and many restaurants of Asia cuisines, uh,
Asian cuisines.
Asian cuisines. Okay. Mm.
Right. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next picture. So, Jesus, what about the other pictures? How do you think living in a multicultural city, or how do you think working in a multicultural city would be like?
Um, I think the best thing about living in a multicultural city is the opportunity to know other habits or custom, and different foods or traditions. But the negative thing is, I think, is uh, multiculturalism cities normally are very big, and I don't like cities very big.
Right. So in Toronto, for example, in Canada, multiculturalism is a good thing because they all work together. But in some cities, multiculturalism can be a bad thing, and then sometimes they are fighting. And like Anna said, sometimes the cities can get dirty. All right, let's go to the next page. So, Evelina, can you read the top of this page for us?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can I ask you
Yes.
about verb get? Uh, why we should say to get dirty, or for example, can we say became dirty?
Yes, so you can say, for example, he became dirty when he was working or when he was playing outside.
Hmm.
Or you can use the past word of get, and you can say he got dirty while playing outside. So,
If it's an infinitive, just infinitive, to get dirty, to became dirty, or it's not, it's wrong, isn't it?
so got and get, yes, got and became is the past tense of get. But get dirty, the infinitive, the present, is actually a metaphor. You can use it in different ways. For example, he got his hands dirty today, or I like to get my hands dirty. It means I like working with my hands. It doesn't mean you really get your hands dirty.
Oh, it's it's complicated.
It is complicated.
Oh.
Let me think of an example. For example, the boss, he only gives instructions and orders, but he never gets his hands dirty. It means he never does the work. All his employees has to get their hands dirty. All right, but I will make a note and I will explain it as best I can in the memos. All right.
Okay, okay, thank you very much.
Okay, all right. So Anna, can you read the top of this page?
Do you think your capital city is multicultural or intercultural? Discuss your reasons.
Right. So multicultural means when there are many different cultures. Intercultural means the same. There are many different cultures, but they work together. They are not separate, but they are mixed together. For example, in New York, in America, New York is multicultural, but everybody speaks English. Everybody, when they go to college, they speak English. When they communicate with their friends, they speak English. It's very intercultural. So Anna, is your city multicultural or intercultural? Oh, sorry, and your microphone is muted, so just
Oh,
unmute your
I'm
mic.
sorry. I switched it. In my town, there are not so many uh, people from other countries, and there are foreigners um, to get some education from university, but not so many people. And I think my city is intercultural because we all speak Russian, and some people can speak on their language, but two or three or maybe 10 uh, months
Uh,
or people.
months? Oh, I
No,
see.
no, no. For example, 10 people? No. Oh
Oh, two
yes.
out of 10.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
No, no. Yeah, I think I mean in my town there are can be many foreigners, not so many foreigners for to get education in universities. In some university, for example, in my university, there are a few foreigners people, but not so many, and it's all people in my town speak Russian.
I see.
Because of it, I think my town is intercultural.
Right, right. So it would be difficult for someone from a different country or a different language to come and study in Omsk, right?
If for example, if you move will move in Omsk, you can find some people who speak on your language,
I see.
and there is no problem uh, to find uh, some 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 men or some human. Oh my God,
Some
some
people.
some people, yes. But in general, we speak in Russian.
I see. All right.
Okay, we have people who can speak English, French, Chinese, but it's not so many people.
All
For
right.
example, St.
So,
Peter. Okay, okay.
sorry, Anna, I just want to make one comment. So you can say you moved to Omsk. When you move somewhere, you can say I moved to that place.
Okay, yes, I'm okay. I see.
Okay, and I just want to move on and get one more opinion. So, Evelina, what about in Vienna? Do the different
Yeah.
cultures mix?
Yeah. So
Are they intercultural or do they not mix? Is it multicultural in Vienna?
um, it's difficult to say because we have here many cultures and many people speak different languages, but also speak German. And but I think many countries which live here many years, they are very intercultural, and I think now it's not so big problem with other culture in Vienna.
I see. Right, that's good to hear. Like in Australia, they have some problems with interculturalism because they have hate or anger toward Muslims. And like I said, in America, America is not very intercultural because they don't accept many cultures, except maybe some Spanish cultures because they have such a big Spanish population. So, Jesus, what is your mother tongue, and are you bilingual?
my mother tongue is Spanish. I don't know bilingual. Yeah.
Right, so bilingual means you can speak two
Two
languages, and if
languages.
you are multilingual, you can speak more than one. So, Jesus, if you could learn another language, which language would it be?
Uh, English, well, with
I see, right.
Spanish. It's spoken in a lot of part of the world, and English is the international language of the world.
That's true. My next language that I want to learn is Spanish because it is so useful to know around the world.
Why? I don't know why.
Well,
Many
because
countries speak Spanish.
right, like there are many people, a big percentage of North America speaks Spanish. Most of South America speaks Spanish, like Argentina and Brazil, and and yes, those countries, and then a big part of Europe, like Spain, and then Portuguese. I think is very similar
Very
to
similar.
Spanish.
Italian. Mm.
Right. So a lot of European languages are Latin based. It means they are very similar or that they have the same origin as Spanish.
In
I
in
see.
China, very people speak Spanish too. Mm.
And
In
also
China?
In China, yeah. Mm.
and also the Philippines language because the Philippines was a colony of Spain until only I think 50 years ago. The Philippines was a colony of Spanish, so the Philippine language is almost exactly the same as Spanish. All right, let's go to the next question. Evelina, which languages are most spoken in your country?
Um, in Poland, Polish, of course, and in Austria, German, but they speak also English very well. And many people who live here many years speak Turkish because they come from Turkey. And yeah.
All right. Nikolai, do you think language is closely related or connected to cultural or ethnic identity?
Uh, I think yeah, it's connected uh, because language is a part of any ethnicity. I think uh, some Arabian people talk uh, um, Arabic language. I don't know. um,
Right, maybe some Arabian language, all right, maybe Hebrew.
maybe yeah.
So the last question, they say, what effect might this have on immigrants? So if you move to a different country with a different language,
hmm
do you think it would be very difficult for you if you have a different language?
Right now, I think yes, because if I don't know any other languages, for example English, uh, I can't express myself to talk with some people. I would use my smartphone and type on translator and show one. Look,
Right.
look.
Right. At least we have our cell phone these days. So language is a big problem, but also other things about culture like food. So Evelina, were there some other difficult things that you had to adjust to, like maybe body language or the food? What was the most difficult thing when you moved to Vienna?
Of course, new language. I had to learn new language because not so many people won't speak English. For example, in offices,
Oh, I
and
see.
they can speak English, but they want it. They don't want.
Yes,
That's the
people
problem.
in in Austria are very proud of their language, so they
Yeah,
usually avoid speaking English.
yeah. But they can speak very fluently, but they don't want. And for example, different between Poland and Austria is all of shops are closed on Sunday.
Oh, I see. Very religious, maybe.
No,
Oh, I see. So
theoretically
just
yes, but it's a religious country, but practical it's not really. And yeah, and many shops are open from 8 or 7 until um, 8, maximum 8 p.m.
oh, that's pretty cool.
In
All right.
Poland, 10 p.m.
Oh, wow. In South Africa, it's much earlier. Only in holiday season does the stores close 8 o'clock. Usually they close 6 or 7 here in South Africa. All right, Anna, can you read the top of this page?
Look at the statements below about nationality and ethnicity. Do you agree with the definitions? Do you think there is difference in your country between nationality and ethnicity?
All right, so Anna, can you read the two quotes at the bottom?
Nationality is about a person's relationship with the political state they are a member of. Ethnicity is about how a person identifies with a particular cultural group.
All right, so sometimes nationality and ethnicity is the same thing. For example, maybe if you have a small country and everybody has the same religion and the same language, then your nationality and your ethnicity is the same. But in a big country or a multicultural country, everybody has the same nationality. For example, everybody's Canadian, but they have different ethnicities. Maybe they're Spanish or Italian or Chinese, but they're all Canadian. So so, Anna, what do you think the difference between nationality and ethnicity is?
Mm. Uh,
Which a quote
as you
maybe do you
say,
agree most with?
as you said, religion, uh, mm, some okay. For example, some traditions. Nationality is it's about situation in country in general. Yes,
Yes,
and
that's a good description.
when you uh, uh, okay, every ethnicity have has your own has um, its own
It's different ethnic groups maybe, or
uh, s- patterns, illusions. Oh, illusion. No, uh, I'm translating now. Patterns.
maybe you can say
No,
different sections or different parts.
difference. Yes, difference. Um,
Maybe
features.
maybe communities, maybe different
Yes,
communities.
different communities and each of them has its own traditions, religion, um, uh, manners, emphasis. Uh, I think it's difference. There are many differences between nationality and ethnicity.
Right.
Uh,
So I agree with you that nationality has to do with your country because national means country. So everybody in your country has the same nationality. But inside a country, you have different ethnicities. And again, I agree with you that religion can have a big role. For example, in Thailand, they have an island next to Thailand. It is a Thai island, but the religion is Muslim. So it's a Muslim community. The women cover their heads and they don't eat pork. So they are Thai, meaning they are Thai nationals, but their ethnicity they are Muslim. They are a Muslim community.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jesus, can you read the top of this page?
Think about the Native American in the USA and Aboriginal Australians. Do you have any similar indigenous group in your country? How do you think they identify with the nation state?
All right, so in America, before the white Americans came from Europe, they had the Native Americans, or some people call them the Indian Americans. And before the Europeans went to Australia, they had the Aboriginal Australians. So, Jesus, does your country have any native or indigenous people like that?
Um, in Spain, there are groups of people uh, cataloged as not so sociable. Um, um, uh, his name is Gypsy. Do you
Right?
know Gypsy?
Yes.
It's a group of people. No, this group of people normally live in um, mm, mm,
Maybe
favelas,
they move around?
favelas, or
Oh, yes.
do you know, like Brazil, but similar to favelas. Uh,
So it's almost like a structure that they can pick up and move easily, right?
yeah. Um, they won't integrate with the society. Um, Normally, these people store um, I don't know, is not good people.
Right, right. Okay, all right. And then, so Nikolai, have you heard of the Eskimos? Do you know what Eskimos are?
I heard a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, but I'm checking on the internet. They came from America, not from Russia. I thought they came from Russia. So, do you know any indigenous people that came from Russia?
uh, maybe Udmurtian.
Maybe, right. So I don't know about modern humans or indigenous people, but maybe previous species of humans. Before modern humans, there were a lot of apes. And anyway, yes. So before I go, do any of you have any questions about today's lesson?
No.
No.
Okay, so thank you very much. It was a great lesson. All of you were able to express your opinions very clearly. And I made notes, so if I have any other advice, I will put it in the memo. So have a very nice day.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye
Thank
bye.
Goodbye.
you. Bye.
Bye, 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 bye.